Hi everybody, here we are again. Today we're going to work on solving equations using algebra that we've done in the past. So notice that the directions say write an equation to solve for each missing angle. So we're going to apply that, what we've been doing, to geometry. So you have to remember what we did when we had geometry. It was back in September. We talked about angles, and if you look at the first one, this is a right angle. I know it's a right angle because there's this little square right there, and the square tells me that it equals 90 degrees. I also know that the angle right here is 64. But the angle right there, I don't know what the measure of that angle is. That's going to help me create the equation. My equation is going to come from here. I have my x plus 64, and that equals 90 degrees. Remember, I know that because all right angles equal 90 degrees. Another thing that's special about these two angles is together they equal 90 degrees. So that means that they are complementary. I'm just going to rewrite my equation so I can solve it. If you look at this equation, this is a really nice one-step equation. There's nothing over here with my x. It's all by itself. It doesn't have a coefficient. This 64 is positive. I'm going to subtract 64 from both sides. When I do that, my 64's cancel out. That means that I'm only left with x on this side, and 90 minus 64 is 26. That means that this angle is 26 degrees. Let's go on to the second problem. If you look at the second problem, there's a few things that we know as well. This is a straight angle, and this is a straight angle. And we remember that straight angles equal 180 degrees. So that means if I were to add this one and that one, they should equal 180 degrees. So let's write that in an equation. I'm going to say y plus 110 equals 180. I'm going to rewrite that so I can solve it in my workspace. I'm going to draw my line down to keep things good because algebra is polite. What I do to the left, I do to the right. This is addition. That means I have to subtract it. Now, the 110s will cancel. That leaves me with just a y on this side, and y equals 70. That means that this angle right here is 70 degrees. So you want to ask yourself if this makes sense. We know that that angle we solved for can't be more than 100 degrees. It wouldn't make sense because then it would not make a straight angle. It would be more than 180 and that wouldn't work. Okay, I had to move my paper down and erase it. So let's look at the third problem. It's a triangle. Remember when we took the triangle, the piece of paper, and we folded it down so that this tip right here was touching that side, so it became a straight angle? And that's how we knew that triangles equal 180 degrees when we add all three angles together. That leads us to our equation. I like to write my variable first. So I'm going to say A plus 60 plus 80 equals 180. That's my equation. I'm going to rewrite it over here in my workspace to solve it. Now, my first step is going to be to combine my like terms. I have two like terms right here, 60 and 80. They are both constants. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to combine them. So I'm going to bring down my A, I'm going to add 60 and 80 and get 140, and then that equals 180. Now, this is just a one-step problem. I have my A, I'm going to subtract 140 degrees from both sides. And when I do that, I get A equals 40. That means that this angle right here is 40 degrees. Let's go to the back page.